And welcome back to the Aliogana Festival of the Word. I am the festival coordinator, Narissa Golden, and we are back with another Meet the Authors interview. Today, I am with Celia Sorhaindo from Dominica. Hello, Celia.
Hey, Narissa, that's so good to be here. And hi, everybody who's attending the festival. Thank you so much.
All right. So, Celia, tell us a bit about you. Tell us about your writing journey. When did it all begin for you?
Oh, well, I was born in Dominica, which is obviously a tiny island in the Caribbean. But my family and I migrated to England when I was 8 years old. So I spent much of my schooling life and my working life in England, but decided to move back home in 2005. So for 17 years now, I've been back in Dominica and really enjoying it. Um, I was a computer programmer for most of my working life. So my writing life is quite a new venture. Probably started seriously maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I think. I've published one chapbook called Guabanse with a small publisher who's based both in Dominica and UK called Papillot Press. And that was kind of themed around Hurricane Maria experiences. And I've just had my first full length collection has just been published by a UK publisher called Carcanet, and it's called Radical Normalisation.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Now let's dive into radical normalization. Of course, I had to go do a deep dive on you, and I saw blog posts that you wrote about how you got introduced to the concept of it.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What does radical normalization mean? And first of all, for people who are just coming to know you, the poetry collection actually centers around mental health. So tell us about radical normalization and how those two things fit together.
Yeah, basically, I think the collection kind of mental health is one of the issues, but I think I'm questioning what is normal, the term normal, whether there is such a thing as normal. Have we ever had normal times? What does a normal brain look like? So it's questioning things like that, and just the usual, existential questions of who, what, where, why, who are we, those kind of things. The title came about from the combination of lots of different sources, really, but the two main ones were I attended a Callaloo workshop, and one of the poetry facilitators, Vivi Francis, she mentioned the term radical normativity, and it's a term that I think Callaloo coined, which kind of means it can be a radical act to be yourself when you are part of different collectives, and when your natural normal way of being goes against some of the boundaries of those collectives, whether it be race or culture, country, gender, whatever it is. If the way you naturally are is different, it can be very difficult to be yourself. And also, if your brain is wired differently, sometimes that can be a real challenge if there seemed to be one normal way of thinking, one normal way of seeing the world. And it was kind of just one of those moments whereby, so Vivi mentioned that term, and I was doing some research into mental health, and especially about psychosis. And I came across the work of a UK psychologist called Charlie Heriot-Maitland, and he's got an amazing paper which deals with investigating a more normalized way of looking at psychosis. So it's called the Radical Normalization Approach to Psychosis. So it's a combination of those things that kind of led to the title. Yeah.
All right, so let's dive into that a bit because that's a whole lot to unpack.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, you basically say most of us, what we call normal, may just be what culture has said is normal, but it's not
Yeah,
necessarily normal for the way my brain might be wired or how I personally perceive the world. Whether that be just like I said, my brain's wired differently.
yeah,
Maybe I've been cultured differently. So let's say, for instance, you were born in Dominica, you moved to the UK, you would have adapted other things that would be normal in the UK, but not
exactly.
normal in Dominica. Is that, are we?
Yeah, that's
So
it
that,
exactly. And I like to see things as a spectrum. And sometimes when you think about our colonial history as well, it's the power dynamic as to who gets to decide where normal is. Especially in terms of things like when you think about how African spirituality was considered and things like that. So there's that power dynamic as well to consider, is who gets to say what is normal, what is acceptable, and what isn't. So yeah.
yeah, brilliant. So can you share one of your pieces that you think speaks to that with us, that talks about these new rules or these new ways of thinking about a particular topic?
Okay, let's see which one. I think I'll share this one called Animula. It's Animula, Rapture of an Introverted Narcissist. And Animula means little soul. And it said that the Emperor Hadrian wrote a poem called Little Soul on his deathbed. And it kind of questions, what is a soul? What are we? And quite a few poets have written their own Little Soul Animula poems. One of those is T.S. Eliot, and also I really love the work of Jamaican poet Shara McCullum, and she also has a Little Soul poem. So this is my own version of that. So it's called Animula, Rapture of an Introverted Narcissist. And it starts with an epigraph by Martin Carter. Death must not find us thinking that we die. Little me, past life has shamed me. Current life is shattering me. I keep losing myself. I keep finding myself. I keep unraveling. Who made me irrevocably singular, never plural? Who made me immutable pronoun, never verb? What if you cut me in pieces, consume me? What if you freeze me, evaporate me? What if demented brain fractures, leaves body alone? What if only memories magic mythical me? What if I alter my core, change given names? What if I shed skins, find I wasn't there? Do I die, return, pick up where I left, try again? Do I live different, fractal, in infinite realms? I keep losing myself. I keep finding myself. I keep unraveling. Shamed, shattering a future I saved. I forget to remember who made me. What if do I? I remember to forget. Shamed, shattered, being no doubt saved. I'm river yielding to sea. Numinous neurons mirror, project. Me, you, in everyone. Everyone in you, me. See, dive in behind why. We will kiss our eyes blind. No matter. I never just matter. We always matter. We make it all matter. Once there was no matter. Yes, matter was immaterial. So thank you.
Wow, that's beautiful. And I see within it that conversation that we have in our heads sometimes. Is this right? Is this wrong? Should I go
Exactly.
along with what everybody else is saying? What about the fact that I feel differently about this particular thing?
That's it.
How did you process? Because you said your background is ITs, and here you're
Mhm.
dealing with mental health. How did you approach writing this content, knowing that you were coming from a background that doesn't necessarily speak to psychology or working in this particular arena?
Yeah, there's so much stigma about mental health in general, and it's a very taboo topic, especially here in the Caribbean.
Hmm.
And there's also this concept that it's 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 a subject I've been fascinated with for quite a long time. So I've done a lot of research into it, but also just to have a conversation doesn't need me to be an expert on mental health in the sense that we all go through our own issues. As I say, Dominica went through Hurricane Maria, which was an extremely traumatic time for many people, and it's still, people are still recovering from that. And yes, the physical aspect of the structures, the buildings, etc., we can see those are being rebuilt, those have been rebuilt, and we're getting on really well. But sometimes the actual mental cost of trauma is not really discussed or even mentioned. As we have this concept that, we're resilient people, we're strong people, and of course that is true. We've survived so much as a people, but sometimes there is a cost to that as well, and the cost is your mental health. So I didn't feel any way about
Hmm.
talking about that at all, because it's something that we all go through on a personal basis. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Montserrat can definitely relate to that as it relates to our history with the volcano. And
Yeah.
yes, we hear that phrase about being a resilient people. And you are so right. Usually resilience means getting up and moving on, but it doesn't mean necessarily that we've reconciled with the losses that we experience, the pain, the discomfort of having to make these
Yeah.
changes. So this is beautiful. I just want to allow you to share another piece from the collection that you want our audience to get to know.
Okay. I think I'll just finish with the final piece in the collection, and it really talks about, what could healing look like. I think sometimes, again, when we talk about self-care, sometimes people think that that is a selfish thing. It's a selfish act to look after yourself, but I think that's something that we maybe have to prioritize more, because we can't help others unless we're on a stable and more grounded footing ourselves. And sometimes, especially women, I think, are prone to give and give and give until, it kind of reaches a point where either your body or your mind says, it's time out. So this one's called Stasis as Revolutionary Healing, and it starts with an epigraph from Malidoma Patrice Somé, who died in December of 2021. And he was an African spiritual healer, and I really admire a lot of his work, and his wife Sobonfu as well. And the epigraph is: healing is a revolutionary stance that you take. Staying in bed a few extra hours isn't exactly revolutionary, I understand. Won't burn the whole place down, set off the necessary reset, but it's what I want to do against whispers outside and inside my head. My husband's phone is ringing somewhere inside the house. Wake up, there are things you need to do right now. I hear loud crackles and pops outside from the farmer's field behind. She is preparing the land for planting, clearing with a fire I hope is under her control. Some smoke wisps into the bedroom, air carrying the burning. I turn over into a death pose, pull covers over heart, over my mouth, nose, ears, over my eyes, over my head. Hands rest crossed over chest, still, unmoving. Mind is unwinding, stilling a light, deep breathing. Thank you.
I love that. That sounds so relaxing, and I have to. That is something I've come to enjoy. The moment it's like, okay, the alarm goes off or the light starts coming in, it's like, oh, but I'm not ready to get up yet. I can actually take a moment and take it all in. And I noticed that you've used breathing in both poems as a pause
Absolutely.
To do that, and I like that about what you've done. So tell us what else is happening for you, and what's the best way to get in touch with you.
Well, at the moment, I'm just kind of just enjoying this process of having published this book. So I'm just trying to enjoy the ride as much as possible. I was recently invited by Trinidad's Bocas Literary Festival to take part in their Bocas UK tour, which was really enjoyable. And I just really want to commend all our Caribbean literary festivals. I manage the Nature Island Literary Festival Facebook page, and having been one of the organising team members a long time ago when we had a physical festival, which we haven't been able to have for a little while, I really know how much work goes behind the scenes. So I really want to commend your festival and all the Caribbean literary festivals, because they really encourage writers and they provide such amazing resources and inspiration. So people can check me out on my website, which is celiasorhaindo.com. And I have a Facebook page where I share most of my literary ponderings, which is Tropical Tides Dominica. But also do check out as well the Nature Island Literary Festival Facebook page, because I just try to share any information that can inspire and encourage writers from anywhere, really, and readers as well.
Well, thank you so much. Now I have a face to go with the person that's been sharing lots of our content. Thank you, Celia, for that. And thank you for stopping by the Al Uganda Festival of the Word. We are so happy that you're here. Congratulations on the new book. And we are going to share all of the details about how people can connect with you and also purchase the book online. Take care. Have a great day.
Thank you. And I wish you all the best for your festival. Thank you again. Okay. Bye.
Alrighty. Bye.